am sharing this on my page, and then we will get started. All right, perfect. Okay, all right guys, I hope you're having a great Monday. We are going to be doing quarantine crafts with me all this week again at 3 o'clock each afternoon. We'll of course leave the videos up so that if you can't do the craft at the exact time that we are, you can always do it at a later time. So we've already announced our supply list for the entire week, but we do break it down for you every day as well. Today, as you can see, we're making paper plate, sunshines, and rainbows, and these are super cute. We loved how they turned out. Very basic things that you need. You need a paper plate, scissors, a black marker, glue. I will say the gel glue is working better for this particular craft, but if you only have the glue stick, it will definitely work. Yellow paint. This just is 2 different colors that we were kind of experimenting with earlier. Construction paper, orange and yellow. And you just need different colored tissue paper. Whatever colors you have laying around the house. I think the example that we actually saw on Pinterest used party streamers, but not everybody has that laying around the house. You're more likely to have tissue paper around the house, so that's what we're using today, just to show you exactly how it turns out. So we will go ahead and get started. Again, this is a fun one. It's easy to follow along. Parents, the kids won't need too much help today, so that's a good thing. So the first thing we're going to do, as you can see, we were practicing earlier. You need to paint your paper plate yellow. Probably for me, I should have had a bigger paintbrush, but that's okay. No particular way you have to do this, just as long as it gets done. I did use a darker yellow for all of ours because it just covered the paper plate easier. But if you only have one shade of yellow, that will definitely work. I even saw some of these crafts, they used orange, like a shade of orange, so that would obviously work as well. Yeah, probably should have had a bigger paintbrush, but that is okay. You want to color, or paint rather, the entire plate, so even on the ridges, you want to paint those as well. Again, if you haven't seen, we did put out a supply list for the entire week. So if you're making an Amazon order or a Walmart pickup order, whatever it is, you actually have the supply list for the entire week so that you would be good to go to do all the crafts for the week. We do have crafts later on in the week that are Easter themed, so that's good. With Easter coming up this Sunday, it does not seem right, but it is that time already. I'm going to paint on this side so y'all can see. You want to get as much of the white gone as possible, so you kind of have to dab it a little bit. So you want to paint the entire paper plate. And really what you'll see in a little bit is that one paper plate could actually make 2 suns, but if you don't have enough stuff to make 2, that's okay. But it's a lot easier to paint the whole thing than just half of it. So make sure you paint, turn around so y'all can see. The good thing about this paint, I'm gonna let Miss Mackenzie zoom in. It dries really, really quickly on paper products. So if you have that paint laying around, we've noticed that it dries very quickly on paper products, which is awesome. So make sure you get as much of that white gone. And if you hear music in the background, we're at the radio station. So I hear them in there editing something. I want y'all to think that I'm just going crazy over here. Again, too, if you haven't already, if you did any of the crafts from last week, make sure to post pictures. We definitely want to see those. You can post them on the Mix 96.9 Facebook page or on my page. My page is Blair Davis Mix 96.9 if you don't already follow that one. I tell people, you know, sometimes I can be funny on there. It pays off. Alright, almost done painting my entire plate. This one's not too messy today. There are some later in the week that might be a little bit messier, Mom and Dad, but we try to pick the crafts that won't completely destroy your kitchen. But it's such a pretty day outside, you could almost paint outside. Thought I was going to get away with having enough on there. Almost done. As well, if you have a craft idea that your kids love, I would love for you to send those to me. We're going to keep doing these as long as y'all want us to. So if you have a craft idea that you just love doing with your kids, definitely send it to us so that we can steal the idea. So again, you just paint the entire plate yellow, orange, whatever color you have. And it dries very quickly, but I am going to cheat a little bit. I painted one earlier today, and it's already dry so that I can go ahead and move on to the next step with y'all. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fold the paper plate, the painted paper plate, in half. So just simply folded it in half. And then you want to cut it in half. So you can just cut along that folded line. You might need more parent-proof scissors. Some of the kids' scissors may not cut it as easily. So again, you could actually make 2 of these if you had enough supplies laying around, but we're just going to make 1 for today. So set that to the side because you're going to need it in a minute. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your orange and yellow construction paper, and you need to cut out little triangles from these. Now, what I did earlier that seemed to work really well, I'm going to kind of do it like this so Miss McKenzie can zoom in. I just kind of did instead of tracing anything, I just did my own triangle. And then I used the bottom point to do the next one. And you don't need that many. As you can see, you need about 8 total. If they're smaller, you might need more. But so 4 for each color would actually be fine. Don't make them too small because that's a lot of gluing. I kind of went medium sized. Like I said, 4 of each color should do it. So 4 orange and 4 yellow. So I did my 4 orange. And I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow construction paper. These don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be the same size. If you do have something that's a triangle shaped around the house that the kids can trace it, obviously they would love doing that. So that's totally fine. But if you have mom and dad sitting there with you, cutting these triangles won't be too hard. Like I said, I did 4 of each, and I actually have some cut up from earlier as well if I need extras, but you should be good at the absolute most 5 of these. So what you're going to want to do, turn your paper plate, your painted paper plate over, and move this out of the way. And the circle part is where you're actually going to be gluing these. So you're going to take these and you're going to want to alternate colors, so orange, yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yellow. And you just want to glue them to the edge of the paper plate. I'm going to zoom in and let Miss McKenzie show you that what I do is I'm going to put the glue on the edge of the plate like that. Maybe a little bit more, this one's kind of big. And set it on top of the glue. Okay. Again, I'm going to go to the next color, which is yellow. Set it right on top. Like I said, the gel glue or liquid glue is working better on this one, but obviously you can definitely use the glue stick if that's all you have at your house. I found it better if you put the glue on the paper plate instead of the triangle. So again, just alternating colors between orange and yellow. And I'm putting the glue right by the ridges of the paper plate. Almost done. I'm seeing that I'm running out of space, so I'm going to try to overlap this just a little bit to give me room to do one more on the end. You can always cut and adjust if need be. And I'll overlap this one as well. All right, I'm gonna give that just a second to dry before I flip it over. Be very careful when you go to flip, especially if you went fast. And you can kind of press down on the plate, try to make sure it's good and glued down. All right, next up, as you're gonna see, we did streamers of rainbow colors. We had these laying around the radio station. So you want to cut your tissue paper in just long, narrow, tissue paper or your streamers in long, narrow strips. So as you're gonna see, they're just long, narrow strips. These are very long. You can make them as long as you like. We obviously trimmed these up just a little bit. So after you've let this sit for a second, you're gonna flip it back over. And your streamers or your tissue paper are gonna be glued to the straight portion of your paper plate. So whatever color you want first, I'm gonna go with red. I'm gluing, Miss Mackenzie, can you see that? I'm gluing on the edge of the straight portion of the paper plate. And this will glue very well. The tissue paper and the liquid glue will hold very well. Next, I'm gonna do orange. You don't have to do any particular order or certain colors, whatever you have laying around the house. Yellow. We hear Jerome talking in the background. All right, next I'm gonna go green. Again, I'm just putting glue on the straight portion. I'm gonna go blue next. And depending on how wide you cut yours will depend on how many colors you can get. You can see that on the other ones I was able to get 6 colors, but on this one it looks like I'm only gonna be able to get 5 because my streamers or my tissue paper was cut thicker. All right, so be very careful flipping this over. Lay them all out. And the last thing you do on this is you draw your face. You can see again the different faces that me and Miss Mackenzie drew on there. I'm gonna obviously do a smiley face, because how can you not look at these cute crafts and not smile, right? And I will do some little eyes. Again, if you have some of those googly eyes that we used last week and that we're going to use later in the week, you can definitely glue those on there as well. So I'm going to turn this around very carefully and show you the completed project. Again, you can trim these if you want very easily. You could just go across and trim it down so that it can fit on the refrigerator for mom and dad, or you can leave them on, whichever you'd like. Again, we're going to be doing another craft tomorrow. Make sure that you post pictures of your paper plates, sunshines, and rainbows so that we can see those and use those and show those off to other people. But we will be posting the supply list again for the entire week and a breakdown for tomorrow is on the Facebook page, so make sure to check that out. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock.